Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. Today we're going to talk about the EIDL and PPP program reopening and the top 10 reasons that people and businesses are turned down for these loans. So before I get into it, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the notifications on everything that we're doing. Please join our email list for exciting announcements that are coming up, and let's get into it. Steve Mnuchin, Secretary of the Treasury, was with Jerome Powell yesterday testifying in front of the House Subcommittee for Finance. And they were in front of Maxine Waters yesterday talking about financing, funding. She wants to make sure that there's additional funding for small business. And I'm going to cut to the chase and everything that they said, but they got into the Main Street Lending Program. The Main Street Lending Program was designed to lend businesses $1 million at a time, and then they lowered it to $250,000. And this is designed for businesses that have an existing relationship with a bank already. And she wanted to say, hey, can you lower this to $100,000? And Steve Mnuchin said, yeah, why not? We looked into it. We can look into it. And Jerome Powell, it was crazy. His reaction was absolutely not. We're not set up for that. First of all, the Fed does not want to lend money to small businesses. They don't want to accept applications. They don't want to be a, quote, lender. They want to facilitate money to existing people with existing businesses. So they said it would be better off if we had the PPP program. Now, by this testimony, it's very obvious that they're going to get additional funding for the PPP program and the EIDL funding. Now, they probably won't do it the way that we want them to do it, which is additional funding for the EIDL program, raise the lending limits to $2 million, and provide additional funding to give us all the appropriate $10,000 grant. That's probably not going to happen. What they're probably going to do is to give money to these banks and to the SBA again to lend for the EIDL program and the PPP program just to get some small businesses going and get them off the back, because the last thing Jerome Powell wants to do is deal with applications and be a lender. Now, the first reason that people were denied for loans and why you can be denied is that your business is considered brand new. They want businesses to be open basically at least 2 years, which is not anywhere in the application, but that's what they prefer. So if you're under 2 years, show that you're making strides in your company and show that your company is heading in the right direction that's going to be positive and be around for years to come. Now, with everything that happened with the pandemic, it creates, an air of uncertainty. Now, number two, your credit score is too low. You have to go get one of those free credit reports someplace and check your credit. Don't let it be a surprise. Oh my God, I've got medical bills on my credit report. Oh, I didn't pay that guy? Come on, man. Pull it and know what's on your credit report so that you can combat that. Because let's face it, there are things that people have in their credit reports that are unjustified and shouldn't be there, or you can explain away. Or maybe it was paid and they haven't taken it off yet. But you need to know what's on your credit report and deal with that. So don't have any surprises on there. Now, most people, as far as their credit, since this all started, has gotten worse. That's not the shock. Go before this happened also and deal with where you were at and how things looked prior to all this starting. Be ready to combat that and be ready to explain it. Not in an hour, but in a few sentences. It's good to have collateral for these loans. Not that you need to put up collateral, but you need to show that your business has some substance. Now, you may be a service company and you may sell from somebody else, whether it's an improvement that you're installing or something, but you don't have inventory. If you have inventory, that's the ideal situation, is to give people a list of your inventory and a list of your assets. Do you have a database? Do you have a customer list that's valuable as you're building your company? Are there things that are of intrinsic value that show that your company is worth something? That's important. It makes things risk averse when you have things of value. In other words, hey, I'm just me doing this. Now, the Uber and Lyft drivers, there's not much there beyond your service. Now, these people have gotten a tremendous amount of money during this time, and I assume that that will be reopened to them again. But again, if you have a company, show what you're doing. And again, next thing, number 4 is high or low debt utilization. Again, the ridiculousness of you not using all your credit, I think, is none of their business. I think if you are financially sound and you paid your bills during this time, should be an asset, and you should jam that down their throat if they say this. But they're saying that, hey, if a guy doesn't use all his credit, there's a red flag. Well, I think that's ridiculous as far as lending, because it's showing that you're responsible. Now, are you tapped out? Do you have you used your credit line, and are you behind in your payments? You better be caught up, and you better be current, or you better have a relationship with the bank, these people that you owe money to, so if they're contacted, they're going to give you something positive. Now, poor cash flow is number 5, and poor cash flow is just like it sounds, is that you're not selling anything. Nothing's coming into the business. You have to show things that are positive, that you're going to have a return for these people, that if this money is lent to you, things are going to turn around, or they're going to continue, or they're going to get better, which is the ideal situation to lend somebody money. Number 6, this is ridiculous. It's the risky industry thing. Are you in adult entertainment? Are you in gambling? Do you do things that they don't like? Loans. Do you do payday loans? Are you a pawn shop? I mean, these are things that they just don't like. But again, I had someone contact me. We put on burlesque shows, and she had to say that, well, they turned it down because, somebody in the Midwest thinks that everybody's naked doing this stuff, and clearly they're not, and it's entertainment, but justify this and think about what you're saying. You're dealing with somebody across the country that doesn't understand what you do. Prepare them for what you do. Think of this person as an absolute imbecile and not understanding. I've been in businesses before. We went to borrow money, and they had no clue what we sold. We literally had to show them that's what this is, and because we thought everybody knew what we sold, so it was crazy. Number 7 is people are not asking for enough money. They're asking for too little money, which is ridiculous when they capped the EIDL loans to $150,000. They want you to ask for enough money, which the idea of asking for enough money is to justify what the money is going to be used for and the long-term plan. Now, if they reopen this, and when they reopen this, if you've already taken a loan and you haven't made payments on it yet, and you need more money because no one thought that this was going to go on as long as it did, be prepared to ask for that, and be prepared to ask for that in such a way that it's going to make sense, that if you borrowed $25,000, you need 60 more, why that is. And again, I know so many people that have gotten small EIDL loans, $7,000, $8,000. What does that do for you? Why borrow the money? Seriously. Oh, I was desperate. I really needed it. Well, stupid. It wasn't enough money. Remember, Javita Carranza said it's 6 months operating capital. What is 6 months operating capital for your business? And again, we're coming up on that point that the 6 months would have been gone if you used all the operating capital. Number 8 is the incomplete application, wrong business information, and missing documents. Now, they streamlined the application process from when I applied for it, but you need to make sure that everything is in order. If it is John Smith, DBA, ABC widgets, and that's how you file your tax return, that's how you do it. Make sure you know your proper EIN number. Make sure you have your tax ID number. Make sure you have all the owners and everybody involved and the address and everything pertinent with the information, the bank account number, the routing number, things like that. I am shocked at the number of businesses out there that applied for EIDL loans and things like that. They didn't have a checking account. I don't know how you run your business without a checking account, but you can go to M1 Finance, Current, places like that, and there's other places that you can get for free, basically a checking account that'll have a routing number and things like that if you don't have that. But make sure you have all the supporting documents if you're a corporation, if you're an LLC, and things like that so that you can be ready for this. And again, pre-planning. This could take you an hour of your life to get ready for this. And if you do this, it could be the difference of getting all the money that your company needs. Number 9 is you violate the economic injury loan standards. they have requirements to make sure the business is ineligible. And again, this goes back to things that I feel that they don't want to lend money to certain businesses. And I have a problem with this, in that when you call the SBA and you talk to them, they want to know what you're doing for a business. Now, with me, I run a medical portal and I produce startup conferences. They didn't know what that meant. So I had to explain in great detail what I did for a living and how I promoted the SBA doing that, and I promoted startup companies and things like that. Be specific, be ready. Again, don't do anything that's nefarious, illegal, shady. And what does that mean, Dan? You know what that means, okay? If you're gambling, if you're doing stupid things, if you're selling cannabis and you're not supposed to, things like that, they're turning people down for that. Now understand this, it may be legal in your state, but it's probably not legal in that state. So think about that. Number 10, which is the most ridiculous thing, is you can't prove that your business was affected by the COVID shenanigans. Now, I, again, want you to introduce me to anybody who hasn't been affected by this. Now, movers are doing gangbuster businesses, and if you own a moving company, you're not making money hand over fist, you're an idiot, but it's people are going out of business. Restaurant supply houses that are basically buying material for shuttered restaurants are making tons of money. Be ready, okay, to explain yourself how this affected you, and have a master plan on what you're going to do with this money to move forward. There is no way that they're not going to reopen the PPP program and the EIDL program. Again, we don't want them to do it haphazardly. We want, in a perfect world, the EIDL program to be funded with another $100 billion for the loans. We need the loan amount raised to $2 million where it was supposedly, where it's federally mandated in statutes or whatever you call it. And also, we need the grant put back to the $10,000 per application, so that all of us that already got the grant information and received $1,000 or $3,000, whatever we got based on the number of employees we put in our application, that we get the full $10,000. We also hope that they take this away from the SBA and send it out to the lenders, because then the loans will be written faster. I know someone that, we were joking about this today, and that was 6 weeks ago they told him he was approved. 6 weeks ago for his EIDL loan. They do not have the loan amount yet. So this is disastrous. You've got to make sure that you're ready for this. Good luck to everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, join our email list, the link's below. But be ready for this thing, because they're going to open it. They may not open it the way that we want to, but they're going to start lending money, because Jerome Powell doesn't want to take an application. The Fed is changing banking, changing everything. The last thing they want to do is be a lender to small business. They want to take care of their friends and not you and me. So good luck to everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about the channel. Don't give up on your dreams.